Today is January the 1st. This is the day that normally people would make New Year's resolutions. Last year we did crafty goals for 2018. This year I have determined some goals that I have set for myself, but I'm going to call them more intentions. This is what I intend to do, so whether I meet it or not, I'm hoping to. But I'm hoping that some of the strategies that I'm going to do to get there will help me meet all of these. First of all, my first goal is to take stock of my stash. When I say that, I know I have yarn in. There are 4 tubs in front of me. There are 2 large tubs and 4 small tubs to the right of me. There's yarn here to the left of me. There's another stack of yarn in front of me. There's a shelf in the kitchen and a tub in the kitchen. And then there's about 5 tubs upstairs. I know I have yarn, but I really don't know what all I have totally. So that one thing is I need to take stock of that, and I will be doing that over the next week. My second intention is to work from my stash almost entirely. The only exception I'm going to have on that is going to be I'm going to allow purchases to finish an item or to add to a project that I'm working on that needs a little something else and I don't have it in my stash. And of course, you know, the knit crate's going to be coming, so that's adding to my stash every month regardless, and I haven't even started on some of those. So, yeah, I need to get busy. I need to organize my stash a little better so that it is easier to work from. I do know that I have like bulky in one area. I have fingering in one area. I also have my fancy smancy yarns in one area. You know, those are the wool and those kind of things that I have. So I do plan on working on at least one item that is what I call my fancy smancy yarn. Some wool, merino, whatever it is. Yak. I can handle yak. You know I can't handle alpaca. So anything that has alpaca, and I believe I have some skeins upstairs that are mixed, they're going to need to go out, and I'm trying to decide how to send those out. The other thing I wanted to do, and I tried to do this last year, but I really didn't keep up with it, it was to track the items that I donate, that go out. And what I found is I had a notebook, but I'd lose the notebook or set it aside somewhere, couldn't find it. When it come time to prayer shawl, I'd forget to document all those things. So now I have already put it in a place where it will be all the time so that I know where that's at and so that I can add to that and track that a little better. Now, I also want to track the weight of the items. I got kind of curious because I was wondering, I wonder how many pounds of yarn I have in this house. Do I have a ton? Maybe. Maybe not. Do I have 100 pounds of yarn? Definitely. Do I have 3? Maybe. So, you know, those are some things that I wanted to see. How much goes out of this house each month? One of the other things I wanted to do is my sewing has been hit or miss. I haven't really set aside certain times for that, with the exception of Friday mornings when I'm quilting. I do sew there most of the time, not all of the time. So I've determined I need to set aside a certain time for sewing, whether it be quilting, putting blocks together, sewing project bags to sell, whatever. So I have set up a schedule for myself. I'm going to work it out next week, see how it works. The only exception would be Tuesdays. On the third Tuesday of every month, we go over to Hoover's. So that day is going to be changing on that day of the month. Other than that, I think I've got it set out to where I'm going to be able to handle this a little bit better. The other thing is, I miss my loom knitting. So I would like to incorporate at least one loom knit item each month. I think that's perfectly doable, whether it's a hat, a scarf, or even a shawl. There are some actual beautiful shawls that are done on the loom, and so I would like to do a few more of those. The other thing is I want to get into a more structured schedule for filming. There are times when I feel like I'm really rushed with filming for the podcast, so I would like to set aside certain times to do that. I noticed Kendra from Happenstance Place or Hooked by Happenstance, she does a bit where she films a little bit, moves on, films a little bit here, and then puts them all together. And I think I probably need to do a little more of that, just to see where I'm going. Yeah. The other thing is, I'm going to start those Tunisian cables. Yep, I'm going to do it. Someone had suggested doing the Tunisian cables with my Tunisian Tuesday series. That's an excellent idea. So I think I will be doing it. As you can see, I got quite a little list here. One of the other things is I need to learn to say no. Create less demand from others. This has been an ongoing thing with me. Someone will come to me and say, Jane, can you do this for me? Yes, I can do that. That's the people pleaser in me. So I need to say, no, I'm sorry. I have other things that I'm doing right now and I just don't have time for it. So I need to learn to be able to say that, to say no, to quit opening myself up to all these time demands, time crunches, because then I get stressed out. I know you can't see it, but I can. The other is to reassess goals monthly for me, and that will be done self-assessment of how it's going and to determine whether I need to change the way I'm doing something. The other thing is to reassess the goals every 3 months, March, June, September, and December, like we did last year. So, yeah, that is part of my goal. The other thing is I'm going to print these goals out and frame them so that I can see them. Yesterday I had mentioned in my 2018 video, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I have a system right in front of me where I have things that help me put things together, like tags for the prayer shawl items and those kind of things. So I'm going to put that frame right on that tote. It's right where I can see it every day. And it is going to stay there so that I can see those goals, print it out so that I can see whether I'm meeting them, looking at them, those kind of things. And I think that'll help. Those are my 2019 intentions. The only other thing I'm going to do is, normally I would film every week for a podcast. I'm going to cut that back to every 2 weeks. There might be one, couple of weeks here and there that I film a few things. It just depends on what's going on during the week. But I felt like that was something that I felt was becoming a time crunch on me. And I want to relax a little bit more this year. Be a little more calm in my making instead of feeling like I've got to get 16 hats done, for the babies, those kind of things. So I will be doing that. Tunisian Tuesday will be cut back to twice a month, possibly 3 times a month if there are 3 Tuesdays in the month. So, every other month. You know what I mean? There's a 5th Tuesday that falls in there. 5th week. Am I making any sense? I don't think I am. But those are my intentions for 2019. And I hope you will continue to join me as we go. And, yeah, I'll be seeing you soon. See you next week for a regular podcast.